even if you match your chart on the day you get married, your sanskars are changing on the journey. So look at all the marriages which are not working out today, but most of them match their charts. And so everybody can be your soulmate, which means the person with whom I experience all these beautiful qualities always, not sometimes and sometimes not, because I understand I'm also a soul on a journey. I've also come with my baggage. So have you. We are here together. So every prophet taught us that we are souls. Peace, purity, power is our religion, and we are children of one God, and we are one family. Everyone has taught us this. Everyone said God is light, Allah Noor hai, Upar hai, Vahe Guru hai, Satnam hai. Everybody, Sabka Malik Ek hai.
Welcome, Sister Shivani. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. I feel like today is going to be a life-changing day for me because I know I've ached for this conversation. And I have a feeling that everyone who is going to be watching this would feel the same way. Because so many people have written to us with, wanting perspective on so many different things. And we feel like you would have just been the perfect person to answer those questions. So thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
It is an absolute privilege, to say the least.
Thank you so much.
Sister Shivani, I, have been very intrigued by you as, a spiritual leader, especially because what you stand for and what you advocate is not that one has to leave everything to pursue spirituality. And I want to ask you that, we live in sansar, in this world. Can we be yogic while living in this world? And if we can, then how does one accomplish that?
A lot of words in the same question. Spirituality, sansar, and yogic. So what is the purpose of spirituality? It works on the sanskar. Yeah. So spirituality comes from the word spirit. Spirit means Atma, the I, the consciousness. And Atma has the sanskars, right? There is a spiritual law. Sanskar se sansar banta hai. The world is about who we are here. The world is not what we are doing. The world is who we are, and then the I comes into the doing, right? When we say I am not spiritual, one, there is nobody who is not spiritual. So everybody who keeps saying I'm not spiritual actually doesn't know the meaning of spiritual, because everybody is spiritual, because everyone is an energy. Everyone is a consciousness. Spiritual means I am prioritizing. I'm prioritizing. That's all it is. So spiritual means I am prioritizing. I am keeping attention on my sanskars while living in the sansar. So which means I am prioritizing the being while coming into the doing. So my doing is taking care of this body. My doing is my relationships. My doing is my work. So that is my sansar. But who is doing all this? It's I. So who is the I? That is the being. We can call it Atma, light, spirit, soul, consciousness, energy. The word doesn't matter. Important is to understand who am I and what is mine. So everything is mine. So when we say materialistic, it means I'm focusing on everything that is mine. And when we say spiritual, I'm focusing on who am I. So when I say I'm materialistic, I'm focusing on the sansar. When I say I'm spiritual, I'm focusing on the sanskar. Materialistically, we started believing that when I do everything that I do, when I achieve everything that I achieve, automatically I will be happy, I will be peaceful, I will get love, I will have power. I wanted the same things: peace, love, power, happiness, purity, bliss. Everyone wants to experience that. A materialistic way of living is do, buy, achieve, and believe that you will experience it. And a spiritual way of living is be peaceful, be powerful, be happy, and then go and do. So now let's check which method is working. So for the last few years or few decades, let's say, we say we become very materialistic. So what does that mean? It means I'm focusing completely on the doing and believing that what I achieve will give me happiness, my relationships will give me love, my roles and positions will give me power. So we achieved. But today we are saying I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I am hurt, I am not able to forgive, I'm not able to forget. As a result, we called negative emotions as normal, which is not the truth. We are no more on emotional health, we are touching mental health issues.
Yeah.
And if we still don't take care, I think maybe a few years later we'll say being depressed is normal. It's
Yeah.
an illness.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of children today saying, I'm feeling very depressed today. It's not a mood, it's
Yeah.
an illness. So we need to be careful with the word. If I have that illness, it's fine. I'll take care of myself and I'll come out of it. But you don't have it, so don't keep saying it, I'm depressed, right? So if I don't take care of the sanskar, then I'm not taking care of the being. So anything not taken care of. In this whole room, if you don't take care of one corner of the room, very soon there's going to be dirt there, there's going to be dust there, energy will get stagnant there. You're cleaning the rest of the room, but you're not going to that one corner of the room, assuming that when the rest of the room is clean and neat and perfect, that corner will be automatically taken care of. That is this corner. So materialistic approach would be sansar se sanskar banta hai.
Correct.
When I get everything, when I have people, I will automatically be happy and loveful and peaceful. And now we've seen that it didn't happen. So we
Yeah.
have stress, anxiety, anger. Now, of course, that then results into a mental health issue, physical health issues.
Yeah.
So now we have enough people saying best diet, best exercise regime, best everything. Then why? Then why do I have this physical health issue? Relationships, we are seeing their relationships have become very complicated. Parenting has become very stressful. Marriages, people have started fearing. So see where we are heading
Yeah.
with that approach. Environment, we know what we've done to it.
Yeah.
And so we're already fearful of what's going to happen to this planet. This is the Sansar se Sanskar model, which said, do everything and this will auto be ticketed. Spiritual law is Sanskar se Sansar banta hai. Take care of your sanskars. Take care. Meditate every day. Study spiritual principles. Create that peace. Experience that peace. Now come into the doing. And so situations will be your way, will not be your way. But you have started creating the peace, love, happiness here. So you're going to be peaceful in crisis. Your spouse, your parent, your child, your colleague, your friend may not behave your way. You're able to radiate love and blessings because you were not in that relationship for I want love. You were in that relationship was I am love and I radiate it to you. It doesn't matter how's your mood today. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how you behaved with me today. And of course, we know that if my mind is peaceful and calm, I radiate good energy to the body. My body feels better. And when I am practicing all this, happiness is my normal way of being. So I'm not buying to be happy.
Yeah.
Once I'm not buying to be happy, I am not abusing the planet for my desires. I am just buying what I need.
Yeah.
So I will buy as many clothes as I need. I will not go and buy saying, I'm bored, let me go and buy more. I'm not going to buy one and after a few days say, poor ho gaya, now let me go. So when we are abusing the planet, because everything that we are buying, whether it is a dress, whether it is a gadget, whether it is a bag, whether it is anything, it is consuming the resources of the planet. So planet has enough for our necessities, but desires to never ending hai.
Bilkul.
So spirituality means sanskar se sansar. So it doesn't mean sansar se dur jana hai. So this itself is a myth that either you'll be spiritual or you'll be materialistic. No, we are going to be materialistic, which means we're going to be in the material world spiritually. Spiritually, aware that I am an energy, come out into the doing happily, not for happiness.
Yeah.
In relationships, with love, not for love. Power over your own self, not over people through role and position. That is spirituality. So it is meant for being in the world. Spirituality doesn't mean leave the world. I need spirituality because I'm in the world.
Yeah.
I need spirituality because I'm with people. If I had to live alone and not do anything and just sit, I don't need spirituality.
Very true.
So even those whom we say they left for a spiritual path, they've not left the world. They're still with people, whether they are in an ashram or they're doing seva, they're with a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a big myth when we feel that, oh, people who are in an ashram, they have nothing to do. An ashram is a bigger setup than our house and office. In a family, I have to stay with 4 people. In an ashram, there are 100 people who stay together. So it's actually, looking at it in that way, it's tougher to stay in an ashram than to stay at home.
Yeah.
Because it's 100 people whom you don't know from different family backgrounds, different educational backgrounds. 24/7 they stay together. There's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
And they have to adjust. And they're not perfect and they're not identical. So they all have their sanskars and you adjust and you mold and you let go. But you do it because you're meditating daily and you're prioritizing sanskar. So it's not right to say, oh, those who are staying in an ashram or those who've surrendered their lives, or they are like, oh, they couldn't live here, that's why they went there. Try it out. Go there and see. And then make an opinion. Because we are finding it tougher to live at home even with our family of 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So spiritually, in a materialistic life.
No, and I couldn't agree more, because as you rightly said, you know, we've always been taught that we'll get happiness when we've achieved one goal.
Yeah.
अभी आपके 10th के boards में अच्छे marks आ
जी,
गए,
हाँ जी.
now you're happy.
Right.
अब 12th में आ गए, now you'll get into IIT, then you're happy.
Right.
Then from IIT you'll get a job, then you're happy. Then job से promotion हुआ, then you'll be happy. And all we do is just keep chasing milestone after milestone.
Right.
And still don't accomplish happiness.
Right. Milestone is important.
Yeah.
So we all have to have our goals in life. The milestone is important. So the milestone is like, if we are in Noida here, and from here I want to go to Jaipur. So I set my milestones from Noida to Delhi, from Delhi to Gurgaon, from Gurgaon to, let's say, Alwar, and I will reach Jaipur. That's my milestone. But I don't say I'll be happy when I reach Jaipur. I'm happy on the journey.
Yeah.
I'm happily driving from Noida to Delhi to Gurgaon and then moving. So
Yeah.
the milestone is very important. The journey is important. But don't say I will be happy when. I am happy and I drive. Whether it's on the road or whether it's in life.
But how does one accomplish that happiness? What is the answer to how do I find joy in the everyday? I think that is what people struggle with the most.
Yeah. So happiness is our nature. First, I need to understand that. Like health is the nature of the body. Originally, the body is healthy. I don't take care of it. Wrong lifestyle, wrong eating habits, sleeping habits, sedentary life. I create a disease in an unhealthy body. Right? So I have created the disease in a healthy body. But once I live with that disease for a long time, I start believing that's the way of my life. My health was normal. I didn't take care. I created a disease. Now if I take care, I can go back to a healthy body. So a powerful soul, or let's say a healthy soul, let's take it in terms of health. A healthy soul is normally happy. So let's say you wake up in the morning and everything is your way and you're happy. Happy means you're thinking right. There is not noise here. Less
Alignment.
thoughts. Yeah, less thoughts, right thoughts, and you're feeling that calm, that stability, and you're ready for the day. On the road, and something doesn't go your way. Now that's the first scene. That's the first stimulus of the day, let's say. Something doesn't go your way. You assumed you would reach in 30 minutes, and then there's something on the journey and you're stuck. You have a commitment there. You've got repeated phone calls coming from that side. Suddenly, outside is not your way. Okay, it's still not here. It's just here that the traffic is not your way, the weather is not your way. You're not covering the distance in what you thought would happen. People at the other end are not behaving right with you because they are calling up saying, I thought you will reach before. All this can happen. Now, prioritizing my state of mind, I will take attention that I will remain calm, speak respectfully, be honest, tell them the truth. Don't keep them hanging saying, I'm just here, I will reach in another. Keep that authenticity, that transparency, that stability. Tell yourself, I'm doing my best. I am going to reach at the right time. Don't be critical and judgmental about other people on the way, because you being critical and judgmental doesn't change the way they are going to drive their cars. Take care here. And while you're doing that, you're going to cross all these hurdles. Maybe you will reach on time. Maybe you might not reach on time, okay? Situations were not your way. But one thing is certain, you will reach peaceful and happy. So every time a situation cannot be in my control. I can prepare, whether for a commitment or whether for my goal. I can set a goal. Let's say before COVID, people set goals. People took loans. People started building houses. There was so much people planned, and people thought 2020 means this, 2021 means this. Somebody could have taken a loan, invested it into. Everybody had set milestones. Suddenly, one situation and everything changes. Try however hard. The situation is not in my control.
Yeah.
But spirituality teaches me, focus here first, then take charge of the situation.
Yeah.
It's like turbulence, oxygen mask falls down, put it onto yourself first before you put it onto other people, because unless you take care of yourself, you won't be able to save the other people. So that is spirituality. Now that means think right in every situation. Every situation. Every time that you're thinking right, you will be calm and peaceful automatically. You don't have to do anything. I have to create negative thoughts to become unhappy. I don't have to do anything to become happy. So we don't need happiness. We are doing things to create the opposite of happiness. Originally, every soul happy, peaceful, full of love.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm full of love. I have to create critical and judgmental thoughts about you. I have to create offense about a certain word and behavior about you. And when I create that, then I create hurt. I was already love. Then I create hurt. Then I create rejection. And then I radiate that to you. And once I radiate that to you, that's what you receive. And you also start creating. And very soon, a beautiful relationship can result into a conflict. So we don't have to do anything to be happy. We only have to take care not to do anything which makes us unhappy. So which means don't work on how to create health. Take care, you're already healthy. Take care that you're not creating a disease.
That's definitely food for thought, because I would not have seen it that way. It's a new perspective. But, it does get me thinking about what one's expectations then from relationships should be. Because we're living in a world where so many marriages are falling apart. So many people are unhappy with their partners, or they're not being able to find love, or as they say, attract the right kind of partner, or even if it's not a partner, their own relationships, let's say with family, with siblings, with friends. So it's a two-part question. First, Sister Shivani, I want to ask you, what is love? How should we perceive it? And when we do find it, how do we keep it?
So first, let's look at all the words again.
Yeah.
Find love.
Yeah.
Attract the right person.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why we are in the relationship. Then we're not going to get it. We're not going into a relationship to get. We're going into a relationship to give. Very clear. It's not about how do I attract the right person. It's about how do I be the right person. Relationships are not created here. Relationships are created here. Love is my normal energy. Love means what? I'm creating always the right thoughts about you. You may be my way. You may not be my way. I have the potential. I have the potential. I have the power to be able to look at the goodness in you. You may have 10 beautiful sanskars, beautiful qualities, and you have 2 weaknesses. What I look at is my choice. What I focus on is my sanskar. But if I say, हाँ वो 10 qualities तो ठीक है, but ये ऐसे क्यों है? So I am the one who is choosing to focus on that one weakness. And I think about it, I talk about it, I want to change you, So I reject you as you are right now. I am critical and judgmental about you in my thoughts. I even speak about you to other people. Other people endorse my pain and they say, Acha, wo aise hain. How do you live with them? How do you even manage being with that person in that house? That is enough for me. Okay, other people also agree with me. How do I live with this person? So all that I have to do is to create this clutter. And once I've created this clutter, I can come up to you and say, I'm sorry, I tried, I cannot live with you anymore because you are not the one I feel I can live with. It's about you. And then the other person is going to automatically feel the same. So because we were living with that equation that I have to get things.
Yeah.
So I was coming into the relationship to get care, to get love, to get respect, to get understanding, to get trust. I'm just wanting to get everything. So I've become like this in life.
Yeah.
This is not who I am. I'm going to work to get. I'm getting into relationships to get. I'm going everywhere like this, which means there is a vacuum here. And I'm looking at the world saying, fill me here. And if I spend a few minutes daily to fill myself, okay? It's like there are people on the road. When we're on the road, they will knock on our window and ask for something.
Yeah.
There are people who don't have that, okay? And so they're really spending their entire life just standing on the road, knocking on the window. Every person next who passes, they are knocking and knocking and knocking. And even if you don't look at them or even if you ignore them, they will just keep knocking because they're standing like this. But the person in the car, how are they standing? They're standing like this to give, right? I have to choose which side I want to stand in life. Do I want to keep knocking on people's, say, be nice to me.
Yeah.
Please call me up 5 times in the day. Unless you call me up, I'm not happy. Unless you do like this, I am standing like this. And if I choose to stand like this in even one relationship, then I will be like this. Then I will not be like that only in one relationship. This is how I am. So you can either choose to be like this in life or you can choose to be like this. Dene wala, which is called a giver. A giver not in physical things, a giver here. But for that I need to fill myself.
Yeah.
So why do we say daily a few minutes for yourself? Self-energizing, why meditation, why spiritual principles, why spend time with yourself, fill yourself and go out into the world to give. So the same people who are knocking on the window on the road to ask for something, if they are physically fine and they go work hard, then earn the money, then they would be on the side of being a giver rather than standing like this. So spend a few minutes with yourself, work hard with yourself, not hard in that sense, but spend some time with yourself, fill yourself, go out into the world to give. And then you won't say, I'm finding love, attracting the right person.
Yeah.
So spirituality says, be the right person. And when you are the right person, you can adjust with almost anyone. I would choose to move away only from an unethical practice, not from a sanskar. People will have different sanskars, right? So sanskars we can adjust with, but do not become a part of something unethical.
For example?
In a workplace, unethical. In a relationship, violence. Don't adjust with that.
Yeah.
But different sanskars, adjust, bend, forgive, let go, finish it off. And most important is, if I see a weakness in you, first of all, that's my perspective, it's a weakness. But yet, I say she has these 5 good qualities, but this. Okay, so now you are a family member. You are my friend. I care for you. Let me work on healing that weakness for you. So all that I need to create is create those sankalps, make those affirmations for your that sanskar change. Every day in my meditation, send you those vibrations, send you those blessings, and I'm going to start seeing you change. So family is not for you be perfect and make me happy. Family is I will work on making myself perfect and then help you to become the perfect one. And then you can adjust with everybody. We are not talking history. Just go 20, 30 years back. We were 10 people living in a house.
Yeah.
Homes were smaller. People were more.
Yeah.
Resources were minimal.
Yeah.
And yet things seemed easier. Because the more people we live with, the more we have the sanskar of adjust, bend, let go. The more the families became smaller, and the more I have my own room. Now I don't have to adjust with anybody, right? So when I don't have to adjust with anybody, then over a period of time, if I don't adjust, then it's a power which is starting to reduce. Let's say memory power. So when we were in school, we knew our tables, we knew birth dates, we knew phone numbers. It's a memory power which we were using.
Yeah.
Now technology is doing all that for us. So we say, "Acha, aapka number kya hai?" We don't know the numbers even of our family members. It's a power we are not using. If we don't use it, we lose it. So when we were living together in bigger families, we were using the power to adjust. We were saying, "Acha, chalo ho gaya na, khatam karo baat ko." And I'm finished, because we know I have to live with the same people in the same house.
Yeah.
Now we have big houses, we have our own rooms. So I said, like, why should? So I will go and walk off into my room and spend the next 2 days sulking over there. And there, I think it's a better option, but actually my power to adjust has started dipping.
Correct.
My power to let go things quickly is dipping. So any power not used will start. So first thing to remember is, people can be who they are. They can cheat you, they can betray you, they can shout at you, they can lie about you, but they cannot enter into your mind and hurt you. Nobody can get in here. This place is the only place where it's only completely in my control. So who's creating the hurt? I am creating the hurt by thinking about how you behaved and why you behaved that way. So first thing I take charge is, irrespective of how you behave, I love myself. I have to love anybody else. I have to love myself. When I love myself, I'm nice to myself. If you say something not nice to me, I say, it's okay. It's her sanskar. It's her perspective. I know who I am. I am working on myself. I love myself. I'm being kind to myself. I'm healing myself. And very soon, I'm back to normal here. When I'm normal here, I'm radiating good energy to you. But if I don't love myself, I say, how could she say this to me? Do so much for everybody. This is what I get in return. Nobody loves me. No one cares for me. This is a repeated pattern. It keeps happening every time in my life. I am the one who's always getting the rejection. No one said all that to me. I am saying all this to myself. So all that's needed is to love yourself. Be nice to yourself. Even if nobody is being nice to you, be nice to yourself. Which means speak nicely to yourself in your mind, right? Respect yourself even if no one else is respecting you. So when you do that for yourself, then you're full of love and respect, and then you're radiating that. So you become a giver. So a giver of respect, a giver of understanding, a giver of trust. Change your vocabulary. Don't say, I want respect. Say, I radiate respect. Don't say, I'm finding love. Say, I am love. Don't say, I need you to understand me. Say, I understand you. So just the vocabulary needs to change. So don't say, I want. Say, I give. Everything will change in relationships.
Let's say somebody has been this person. Let's say somebody has been asking for it, and clearly they are unhappy because they've been in that state.
Right.
How do they go from being someone who has only wanted to receive to being someone who now gives? What does one do?
Okay. So being like this is being emotionally dependent. Okay? Whether dependent on people, whether dependent on achievements, whether dependent on objects. We're even dependent on objects to be happy. अभी किसी का phone गुम जाए तो 2 minutes में stress बढ़ जाएगा.
Correct.
Because I'm dependent even on the object to feel comfortable. So this is not just in relationships, it is my way of living. This is called emotional dependence, where my emotion is dependent on the outside world. Shifting to emotional independence, where the world is what the world is, I choose my emotion. If I had to ask you, who creates your thoughts and feelings? What would your answer be?
Me.
Me. Logical answer.
Correct.
So we will all say, I create my thoughts and feelings. And yet we are living our life saying, I'm irritated because of you. I'm stressed because of this situation. I'm angry because they did this. they hurt me. I'm happy because of this happened. So I'm saying I am the creator of my thoughts and feelings, and yet I'm saying the whole day I am feeling like this because of. So that is emotional dependence. Shifting to emotional independence. Physical dependence. Suppose I'm unwell, I become physically dependent. I say, can I have a glass of water? Can someone help me to walk to the next room? I know this is disease. There's something wrong with me. That's why I'm not being able to do my normal day-to-day things. So what will I do? I will take a good diet. I will start a little exercise, and very soon I will shift from needing people's help to walk, get up, to move, to being able to do everything my way. But I have to do something for that. Similarly, I have to take a little care to go back from emotional dependence to emotional independence. First step, always remember, I am the creator of my thoughts and feelings. I am. Every time I would remind this to myself, I don't know how many times in the day. I am the creator of my thoughts and feelings. I have a choice what to create in this situation. So vocabulary changed. I'm stressed because of, no. Situation is, I am creating the stress. They hurt me, change. They did what they did, I created the hurt. I'm happy because I got this, change. I got this, I can use it. Happiness or something else is my choice. So vocabulary change. It's a language change. Whatever I think and speak repeatedly becomes my consciousness. So be very careful of the words, the language, the vocabulary. And then second, take care to build up your emotional health. A little check of diet, and diet is now content. Emotional diet is what I watch, read, and listen.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Whatever I'm watching, reading, listening is what I'm consuming. So what I consume is who I become. So why is there so much of a difference in, let's say, 30 years back and now? Because we are consuming so much more than what we were consuming 30 years back. So we've grown up in an era where the first TV came in, where the first phone came in. Mobile came in much later. Internet came later. So we have seen the journey of minimal content, which was just one newspaper, library in the school.
Yeah.
Doordarshan also came later. One newspaper, library in the school, and our elders around us were the source of information for us. Going from there to Doordarshan, to all the channels, to 24/7 TV, to internet, to mobile, to OTT platforms, to social. This is all a journey of 20-25 years. So with that minimal content to today flooded with content, check your emotional diet. How much are you consuming and what are you consuming? So if you're consuming content which has ego, which has lust, which has greed, which has jealousy, which has ridiculing people, which has criticism, which has violence, that's how you're going to become. So why spiritual content? Which means why spiritual study throughout, at least in the beginning of the day? Because it has content of acceptance, it has content of contentment, it has content of forgiveness and letting go. What I consume, I start becoming. So first, taking care, diet. So check your diet. That's why we say at least a few minutes every day.
Yeah.
Restrict the other content and consume a little bit of the healthy content. Then like exercise for the body, exercise for the soul. That is meditation.
Yeah.
Sit in silence. Start practicing soul consciousness. Contemplate. Today, even if we are driving and we're on a red signal, we use those 20 seconds also to check our phone.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're not even sitting in silence on a red signal. So that's opposite of exercise.
Yeah.
So that is the only thing that we have to do. Right diet, little exercise for the mind, and practicing, changing of vocabulary. That's it. Within 1 week, you're going to start seeing a change in yourself. It's not going to take years. Within a week. Within a week.
I actually do understand that because I have been meditating for many years, and I have my mother to thank because she got me into the practice of, ever since I was very young, she would take me for satsang. So I grew up listening to bhajans. Every Sunday we would do that. So it definitely has helped me learn slowly, very slowly but surely, how to respond and not react.
Right.
Like I read somewhere that it said that between stimulus and response there lies a gap.
That's
Is
the
where all of
choice.
your wisdom lies. And I think meditation does enable you then to make slightly wiser choices.
Meditation and content.
Yeah.
Because your choice also will be dependent on who you are here. Right? So now, not earlier, but now, because there's so much getting flooded there. So there are people who are meditating every morning, but if they're not taking care of their content, they still tend to react in a situation.
Yeah.
And then their vocabulary goes, I'm very peaceful during my meditation.
Yeah.
The purpose of meditation is not being peaceful during meditation only, but meditating so that you are going to be peaceful throughout the day.
Yeah.
But saying peaceful during meditation, but stress is normal in the day, is a little.
Yeah. Fair. You know, Sister Shivani, in many of your talks, I've heard you talk about, you know, how we as souls take on many costumes. The Bhagavad Gita has also talks about how we come, you know, in various life forms again and again and again. And I believe that to be true as well. In such a situation, because, you know, we've spoken a little bit about love, about relationships, is there such a thing as soulmate? Is there one soulmate? Do we travel with the same souls again and again? How does that work?
When I'm in a relationship, any relationship, okay, what is the consciousness through which I'm coming into that relationship? When I do not remember I'm a soul, I'm in that relationship through a relationship consciousness, even if it's a parent and a child. Now leave alone partners and husband, wife for a few minutes. Let's look at a parent and a child. So a mother and a daughter, let's say. If the consciousness in that relationship is, I'm a mother, you are my daughter, there can be attachment, there can be ego, there can be hurt, there will also be a lot of care, but there can also be a lot of expectations. And when all these come, there will be hurts, there will be moments of feeling sad, then we get back, then there is worry. So all these emotions will come when I am into that relationship saying, I am the mother, you are my daughter. Okay? Now spirituality teaches me I am a soul playing the role of a mother. You are a soul playing the role of a daughter.
Okay.
Once I understand this, then I understand you are a soul on a journey. You're not my daughter. You're not my sister. You are not my spouse. You are a soul on a journey.
Yeah.
So, and a soul on a journey who's come with her past sanskars and her past karmas. So I don't say, how can you be like this? How can you do like this? That means I haven't understood you. So now just look at every member of your family and look at them in a little different perspective. They are not my so-and-so relationship. They are a soul on a journey. Before this, they were in another family, in another costume, different situations. 100 years before that, another family, another situation, long journey. So the soul comes with a bundle of sanskars. If I look at you as my relationship, I have a whole set of expectations. Spouse should be like this. Child should be like this. And then I keep comparing you to that, and you are not matching my expectation. When I say soul on a journey, empathy, compassion becomes normal. And my relationship has now shifted from ego consciousness to soul consciousness. Ego means attachment to a wrong image of myself. I'm a soul, but I got attached to an image saying I am a mother, or I am a wife, or I am a sister. I'm a soul playing that role. So, and then in relationships, we say attachment is normal. Now, what is attachment? My mind is attached to your mind. If you're upset, I'm worried. If you say something, I'm hurt. Spirituality says detachment. It automatically happens. We don't have to do it, which means emotionally independent. Now you're hurt, I'm powerful so that I radiate good energy to you to heal you and come out of it. I don't know where you are, what you're doing. I'm not worried. I care. I don't create worry because worry is negative energy. So my whole way of thinking in that relationship changes when I'm soul conscious. Something doesn't go right your way. Your life is not going in the direction which you thought it will go, whether it's in your career, whether it's in relationships. I understand. Soul on a journey has come with her past karmic accounts, my role is hand holding. I'm not going to cry why this has happened in her life. I'm not going to panic. What is her future? I know she has come with this predestined. Now my role is hand holding to create the right karma now so that we can take the best and come out with this right karma and change our destiny. Everything changes. The whole way of looking at that relationship changes, and then I will say this is a soul to soul connection. This is a soul to soul connection because I am in that consciousness, I'm a soul and you are a soul, and now we are in a relationship. So otherwise it's an ego clash, and that's why we say the egos are clashing. So either a relationship can be an ego connection, or it can be a soul and soul connection. Anyone with whom you have a soul connection, with which means compassion, empathy, acceptance, detachment, care, unconditionally, soulmate. And so everybody can be your soulmate.
How lovely.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Which means the person with whom I experience all these beautiful qualities always, not sometimes and sometimes not,
Yeah.
but always, because I understand I am also a soul on a journey. I've also come with my baggage. So have you. We are here together. We've met before. We've had past karmic accounts. So there can be issues, but I understand. Let me change my karma to heal this past karmic account. Everything, every dynamic of the relationship changes on it. It's like a paradigm shift actually.
How beautiful, because if you work on yourself, then as you said, you can have so many soulmates, and if you don't, तो फिर एक भी मिलना मुश्किल है.
It's actually all or none.
Yeah.
It's actually all or none. Because if I'm in the consciousness of I'm a soul, then I start looking at everybody that way.
Yeah.
So I will have a soul connection with everyone. And if I am a role, position, age, this, then I look at everybody through that. And then all my relationships become ego consciousness. Then you will talk to people depending on how's their role, where they are in society. Our behaviors change with people.
Yeah.
Our behaviors change with people on what they have achieved, on what their visiting card says, on which part of the city they live, what's the size of their car. Our behaviors change. This is ego consciousness. And soul consciousness, everybody is your then soul connection.
So, Sister Shivani, you mentioned destiny, that everything is predestined, that we were meant to go through what we are going through. The classic question of how much of our free will do we exercise in what is an already predestined life? And what is the meaning of free will in what we believe to be a predestined life?
Everything is predestined and we have complete free will.
How does that work?
Okay. There is a ball in my hand right now and I'm going to throw it on that wall. Okay. Once I've thrown, now this is free will. I have a choice how I'm going to throw it, what speed, what direction, complete free will. I've thrown this. Law of energy. This ball is going to hit that wall and come back. When I use this free will, I've already decided how it's going to come back. Just in the act of throwing. In the act of throwing, I know that it's going to come back this way.
Sure.
So the way I throw is free will. What comes back was predestined.
But was it not predestined that you intended to throw?
No. My
Okay.
karma is free will.
Okay.
The consequence of the karma is predestined.
Okay.
See, like this. When I do it, it is free will.
Okay.
But the consequence of that is predestined.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so just let's look at it like that. I've thrown this ball, it comes back to me. By the time it comes back to me, I, the soul, have changed the costume. The ball doesn't come back, it means the consequence of the karma need not come back immediately. Every karma is an energy that I radiate, which means my every thought, my every word, my every behavior is an energy I create and I radiate. It's the ball which goes out. Every karma will have a consequence.
Correct.
By the law of karma. Every karma will have a consequence. So let's say, for example, you and me are friends. I the soul and you the soul. We are friends. And then we say, okay, let's do this business together. We do this business together. It's going great. Everything is going perfect. Some intention, adulteration for me, and I go and do something which is unethical in that business. I get everything onto me. I leave you with nothing. It's my karma. I've done this karma now. Okay? And when I do this karma, you go through pain. And you go through so much pain that even your body gets affected, which means you create a disease in your body. Your family gets affected, your financial situation. All this happened because of
One action.
my karma.
Yeah.
Okay, my karma. So my karma created pain, disease, conflict, everything. So will this karma not have a consequence? For me, it will have a consequence.
Correct.
But by the time I do this, I am 80, 90 years old and my life to the world seems perfect. So a lot of people have this question, okay, they are doing so much wrong, yet their life seems perfect. This person is so nice, doing such good karma, and yet there are so much hurdles in their life because we're just seeing the now, right now. So I did this unethical karma. This created so much of pain and turmoil in your life, and then I, the soul, left the body. Okay? So I've thrown those balls of karma and I have left. The return of the ball did not come to me in that short span of time. But the karma was done by I, the soul, not by this body. So I, the soul, move forward. I take a new costume. You, the soul, some years later, move forward, take another costume. But because we have a very strong karmic account, whether a beautiful karmic account or a tougher karmic account, we will definitely meet again. So we meet again, but we don't recognize each other. We can come into a relationship which is very, very close because it's a very strong karmic account, right? So when I did that unethical karma, I had thrown the ball. I had a choice that time. It was my complete free will. So I used my free will to be unethical. Okay? But because I've done that, trouble coming back to me is predestined.
Correct.
So when did I predestine it? That day, in my previous costume. So predestined means a previously written destiny. But written by who?
My soul.
My soul, nahi. I, the soul.
Got it.
I, the soul. It's my karma. So then I come into my new costume. We come into a new relationship. And repeatedly, there is something that keeps coming from your end, which becomes a source of pain for me. I'm creating pain, I'm getting stressed, I'm going through anxiety, I'm continuous turmoil. I will feel I have not done anything wrong. It is all coming from there. And then people around me will say, it's your destiny. It was predestined. So now I need to understand that. Predestined, yes. Predestined by who? I, which means I have done something with this soul for which this soul is having issues with me, behaving like this with me, something or the other, it will come in some way. Now, this is the ball coming back. But when this predestined comes to me, how I respond now is again my free will.
Got it.
So at every moment, predestined is coming to me, free will is again in my present karma. So now how you behave with me, what you are not going to come back to me as a business partner. You can come back to me as a spouse. You can come back to me as a child. You're going to come very close because it was a very strong karmic account. So you come back to me, you behave a certain way, or there are challenges in our relationships and our life. Now again, I have the free will. Am I going to create hurt? Am I going to behave wrongly? No. Now let me sort out this karmic account. So again, it's my free will. Last time my free will, I did wrong karma. Let me choose my free will now and create the right karma. So predestined and free will are working hand in hand. What is coming to me is predestined. How I'm responding to it is free will. So at every moment, past is coming to me, which means something that I had done in the past, it's coming to me. So situations, people's behavior, the health of my body is my past karma which is coming to me. How I respond is my present karma. And how I respond now is again predestined for my future. So past, present, future, three walk together. Past is coming to me, present is getting created, future is getting decided. So तीनों काल, that is called त्रिकाल दर्शी. कि त्रिकाल दर्शी होकर कर्म करो. Okay, what is the past that I had created because of which this happened? What should now be my right present so that my present and my future is secure?
Got it. So, as you said, and I completely agree, the predestined is my past karma, is what I, the soul, had done. And it was inevitable that I, in some way, pay the price for it because that is how I chose to live my life. What is the role then of astrology? Because it's so big in our culture that, when a child is born on a certain date at a certain time, there is a chart that is created, an astrological chart. And then we're told that this is your destiny.
Right.
How accurate is that?
It's a science of which is telling me what all balls are going to come to me in my life. And it's logical, it's science, because they are like today's science will be able to tell me that the way I threw the ball, they will be able to tell me what speed and angle it will come back to me. Any physicist can calculate and tell me, this is how you threw the ball, this is how your ball will come back. Astrology is going to tell me how my karmas are going to come back. So astrology is a science which is based on my past sanskars and my past karma, and that's why the chart is created when the baby is born. I have not yet done any present karma.
Correct.
Right? So it's like today is 31st March. That is my closing balance sheet. I, the soul, leave the body, enter the new costume, baby born, my opening balance sheet is created. That is my Janam Patri. So my Janam Patri is telling me how I did business in my last costume, business of my karmas. But that does not mean that what is in my opening balance sheet is how my this life is going to be.
You can close it differently.
Completely. You can live it differently, not just close it differently. You can live your life differently. So I could have come with profit and yet I could mess it up this time. I could have come with a terrible loss and I can change everything this year. So astrology is a science which tells me what is going to come into my life. Spirituality is a science which tells me how to respond to what is coming into my life.
Got it.
So I, for one, would not want to know what is going to come into my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I will just work on myself so that I strengthen myself to face anything that comes. So elevate your present karma and it will always give you the strength to face any past karmic account which comes to you. Just by knowing what is going to come to you doesn't mean you have the strength to face it.
Yeah.
So I don't need to know what's going to happen tomorrow in my life. I don't need to know what's going to happen next year. I'm just strengthening myself on a daily basis so that I take care of my present karma. And experience of so many people shows that when you strengthen yourself, situations do come. And situations not just as small as a crisis, situation could be a death of a child, a situation, what I would call the biggest situation that can come in someone's life. But even when that situation comes, the soul is more strengthened and more able to send meditative blessings to that soul and to help that soul also to move forward on a beautiful journey. The vacuum of that relationship will always be there, but the way the soul will handle the situation will be completely different. But if I just come to know that I'm going to lose my child, I will create enough pain and chaos even before, and I will probably just create a lot of wrong karmas even before because I will live my life in pain, fear and apprehension.
Yeah.
So I don't find the need to know what's going to happen in the future.
So we should not match astrological charts when people are getting married?
I don't say we should not. Everyone has their choice.
Yeah.
But even if you match your chart on the day you get married, your sanskars are changing on the journey. So look at all the marriages which are not working out today. But most of them match their charts.
Yeah.
So maybe on the day they match their chart, how many sanskars were matching, but situations, and we're not taking care of our minds. So today I could be very calm and stable. Tomorrow something happens at work and I become very irritable. Something bigger happens at work and I'm in a complete pain and chaos. My relationship at home will change. And then that other person says, it's impossible to live with you now.
Yeah.
So I started with matching our sanskars. But on the journey, I changed my sanskars and karma, and so relationship did not work. And there are some people whose charts did not match. But because they had chosen each other as the partner, and they said, we are going to get married. Now we cannot change this just because the charts don't match. And then they work on themselves and have a beautiful relationship for more than 50 years. So it is a science, but more power than that is with the human mind. Is with the human mind. So if the mind decides that they're going to make it work, then they will make it work.
So truly the power of how our life turns out lies in our hands.
Completely. Completely. Where, in whose else's hands is it going to be? My karma creates my destiny. So it's completely in my hands.
Because so far, we've heard around us, so, and, from, of course, our nannies and dadis, we've heard कि इसकी किस्मत ही बेचारे की खराब है या इसकी किस्मत ही बेचारे की खराब है, ये इतना काम करते हैं, इनको फल नहीं मिलता है.
Right.
And why do only good people suffer?
Right.
And to understand it from the perspective of a lot of it is predestined in the sense that it is our soul journey that we have to live by.
Kismat kharab hai means my past karmic account was a little tougher.
Yeah.
So many people experience that I work hard and just when I'm about to reach the goal, something happens. So, okay, look at it and understand it. It is my past karmic account that I have to put in more effort to get a certain result. And some people, they're not putting in much effort, but things are just happening their way. That does not mean this person is lucky and that person is unlucky. It just means this person had put in more effort earlier.
Yeah.
And now the solution just seems to be walking up to them. And this person had probably done something earlier for which they need to work harder now. But when I'm feeling that I'm not getting the success, if I focus only on, again, continuing with determination, with perseverance, not looking at other people, not creating jealousy and insecurity, I will settle my karmic account and move forward. It does not go on forever. इसीलिए तो हम कहते हैं किस्मत बदल गई. तो किस्मत बदलती भी तो है, लेकिन किस्मत बदलेगा कौन? I myself. So spirituality will give me the gyan to create the right karma even in the toughest situation. Meditation will give me the power to be able to implement that gyan that I have studied. And then when I have that, I'm able to raise the level of my karma and then change my destiny.
Sister Rani, I had read somewhere that Paramatma, which is God, is basically Param Atma. That is our higher consciousness. So is that true that, and in German there was a book that I had read which said, wir alle sind eine Funken von Gott, which means that we're all a spark of the sun, which is God. What is God? Is it the same as the universe? Is it the soul? Is it the master soul? How do we understand that?
The two words, Atma, Param Atma. Like there is Mahatma, there is Devatma, there is Punya Atma, there is Pap Atma, which means we are giving the label to the soul based on the sanskars of the soul. So Atma is soul. Mahanatma, someone who's done great work. Punya Atma, who's done divine work. Papatma, someone who's done something evil. Param Atma, which means the supreme soul. So supreme soul means, when we can say supreme soul, we can say supreme power, we can say divine power, we can say God. Understanding is more important. Words is everyone's vocabulary and language.
Sure.
Understanding is more important, that each one of us is a soul and we come into this cycle of birth and death, the cycle of sanskar and karma and destiny. But there is one soul who does not come into this cycle. And that is why that soul's power always remains constant. That's why you said the sun.
Yeah.
So sun means the sun of powers, the sun of knowledge, the sun of purity. इसको हम कहते हैं ज्ञान सूर्य, the sun of knowledge. So Param Atma, the supreme soul, does not come into the cycle of birth and death. And that's why we always say like this. हम ऐसे करते हैं, हम यहाँ ऐसे नहीं करते उंगली. You know, हम अल्लाह करते हैं तो ऐसे करते हैं, ईश्वर कहते हैं तो ऐसे करते हैं, खुदा ऊपर है, हम हमेशा ऊपर देख रहे हैं. So somewhere in the subconscious, the soul knows that भगवान यहाँ नहीं ढूंढते, हम वहाँ करते हैं, ऐसे करते हैं, हम कहते हैं ऊपर वाला जाने, so हम उसको ऊपर वाला बोलते हैं.
Correct.
It's there in our subconscious. So I am a soul, I am a pure soul, peaceful soul, happy soul, powerful soul. The supreme soul is ocean of happiness, ocean of peace, ocean of purity, ocean of power. That's the difference. I come into the cycle of birth and death. Paramatma does not come into the cycle of birth and death. So my relationship with the Paramatma is a child and a parent, a student and a teacher, a friend, a guide, a Sadguru. I can create any relationship.
Yeah.
And then as is my relationship, that is my feeling, that is my experience. So Atma, Paramatma. And so meditation that we practice, Raj Yoga, is Atma connects to Paramatma and fills the self with that love, purity, peace and power. That is Raj Yoga.
I have in every meditation only seen the divine, the supreme God, as you said, as the sun. For
Right.
me, it's never come in the form of any idol, any religious faith. It's just that. I've only
See.
seen it as light.
Idol जो है देवी देवता, see देवी देवता, we call them देवात्मा. बहुत सारे देवी देवता मतलब देवात्मा, मतलब divine souls. परमात्मा एक है. Nobody says बहुत सारे परमात्माएं, देवी देवताएं, धर्मात्माएं means our prophets.
Yeah.
So देवी देवताएं, धर्मात्माएं, महात्माएं, पुण्यात्माएं, we never say परमात्माएं. Paramatma one. Paramatma one, and so many of us, the soul.
Sister Shivani, does religion serve as a stepping stone to spirituality in some way? Because we first, as you said, see the Devatma, and is seeing the Devatma a way of reaching the Paramatma?
Not really necessary, but what is religion needs to be understood. Religion means the religion of the soul. Dharam, the right word in Hindi is easier to understand. Dharam. Dharam means the religion. Whose religion? The religion of the soul. So every prophet, they came on the planet, they were teaching us the religion of the soul. They were teaching us to be peaceful, to be united, to be harmonious. Matlab, they were teaching us the qualities of the soul, the duty of the soul. They were teaching us religion. They were not creating religions. They were teaching us religion. They were not establishing dharam, they were teaching us dharam. And then we had to be in that dharam and come into our karam. Right? So the dharam of the soul is peace, purity, love and power. Now come with that dharam into your every karam. So dharam and karam has to be aligned. It goes hand in hand. Not ये मेरा धर्म का टाइम है और ये मेरा कर्म का टाइम है. Not like that. Dharam and karam. So bring your dharam into every karam. So every prophet taught us that we are souls. Peace, purity, power is our religion. And we are children of one God and we are one family. Everyone has taught us this. Everyone said God is light, Allah Noor hai, Upar hai, Vahe Guru hai, Satnam hai. Everybody, सबका मालिक एक है. किसी ने कुछ अलग नहीं, किसी ने कहा नहीं मैं भगवान हूँ. Everybody was saying. So everyone taught us dharam and taught us how to live our life on that dharam. Somewhere on the journey, instead of following the teaching, we only said we are their followers.
Yeah.
So I connected to the teacher
Correct.
rather than connecting only to the teaching.
Teaching.
Now the minute I connect to the teacher, your teacher and my teacher is different. If I had connected to the teaching, your teaching and my teaching is same. You are also learning the same thing, I'm also learning the same thing, and both of us have to live on what we are learning. But when I said connected to teacher, I said your teacher, my teacher is different, so you and me are different. So then we established religion. Then we established religion, and then we said this, so many religions. Now within every religion, more teachers, So now within every religion also there is.
Yeah.
So religion came to make us
One.
united.
Ended up.
It has not ended up.
We have.
We have ended up doing that.
Yeah.
Because instead of holding on to the teaching, we were only saying teacher, ye mere teacher hai. You said ye mere teacher hai. Then I said aap alag ho, main alag ho. So we started diversifying. We were actually to be united. So dharam plays a very, very important role, provided we are learning to live the dharam.
Yeah.
Live your religion. Live your religion. Open the book. Study it. Bring every word of that into your life. Then you're living the religion. If you're just saying, I'm praying, and then you're going out and shouting at somebody, then you're indulging into unethical practices, you're not able to heal your pain, then you have not taken your dharam into your life. Then your dharam is only of half an hour.
Yeah.
If you're saying, I'm very peaceful when I'm praying, but stress is normal when I'm at work, then you have not taken your dharam with you to work.
Yeah.
So dharam was not meant for half an hour. Dharam was meant for
Life.
karam.
Yeah.
Karam. So religion was teaching us that. So somewhere, some of us, I will not say everybody, some of us were not internalizing our religion. We're not internalizing our religion. We're sometimes only ritualistically doing it. Every ritual is beautiful. And that ritual was teaching me to internalize something. You know, even a simple thing like lighting a diya is a ritual. Na? So some of us light the diya every single day. And most of us believe कि दिया बुझना नहीं चाहिए. अगर दिया बुझ गया तो कुछ अशुभ हो जाएगा. So हम भागते हैं उस दिए में घी डालकर उस दिए की लौ को बचाने के लिए. Now this becomes ritualistic only. The meaning of it is being a giver, diya. Never stop being a giver. अगर आप giver होना बंद कर देंगे जीवन अशुभ हो जाएगा. तो दिए को बुझने मत देना. मतलब मैं आत्मा हूँ, ये लाइट है and ये गिव कर रही है, ये बुझने मत देना. That is why I was taught to light the lamp. But when I forget the meaning behind it and I only light the lamp and then I create fear कि अगर ये बुझ गया तो मेरे जीवन में अशुभ हो जाएगा, then that ritual instead of energizing me is actually depleting me because I'm living in fear. So fear is a depleter.
Yeah.
So बहुत लोग religious practice को fear based कर रहे हैं. भगवान को fear based याद कर रहे हैं. Love based नहीं याद कर रहे. Many people say I'm very God fearing, but why should you fear God?
God loving. Yeah.
But fear इसलिए because somewhere somebody said तुम ये नहीं ठीक करोगे ना तो भगवान नाराज हो जाएगा, देवी देवताएं श्राप दे देंगे. They were saying it with the pure intention that do right karma. I didn't take it the right way and I feared God, I feared the deities. I was doing so many things out of fear. नहीं किया तो मेरा गलत हो जाएगा. Then my dharam itself, if not taken the right way, actually starts becoming a depleter. Depleter because I'm creating fear.
Yeah.
Fear is a depleter. Come to today where we are reacting, one line and we are reacting, we're becoming so intolerant, then my religion is becoming a depleter if I am not practicing that religion that way.
Or interpreting it correctly.
It is all given very beautifully. Very beautifully. But did I understand it? Most of us understand it. But do I internalize it? And then most important, do I implement it? So take your dharam into your karam. Don't say, ये सिर्फ मेरा धर्म है. मेरा धर्म ही मेरा कर्म है. Once that happens, then religion will unite us. Because religion was for uniting us. Religion was for making us peaceful and loveful. So what is spirituality? Spirituality is the essence of what we have learned, just that it is taught to us in a very simple, direct manner. Okay, this is how you need to be, and this is how your sanskars, thought processes, and how your karam needs to be. So it just comes to me in a very straight, simple, straightforward manner, where I'm not having to work very hard to understand it sometimes. It's just coming to me in a very simple vocabulary, which I understand, and it's a very simple concept which I need to start living. So, but it's not that it is something, it is not different.
Yeah.
And that's why when we study spiritual principles, everyone, like at the Brahma Kumaris I see, we have people from all religions and everyone is still a part of their religion.
Yeah.
So if I'm born into a Hindu family, I'm still a Hindu. And the one who's a Muslim, who's a Christian, who's a Sikh is still their religion. And when we learn spiritual principles, all of us say, अच्छा यही तो हमने सीखा था. This is what our religion taught us, but हमने किया क्यों नहीं?
Yeah.
So nobody says, oh, ये तो different है. No, not at all. It is absolutely the same.
Interesting. So, Sister Shivani, as you said, spirituality comes to you very simply. How would you advise the youngsters of today who are suffering from so much anxiety, as we discussed? They feel depressed. They feel like everything is happening to them. How do we tell them to practice spirituality in that simple way?
First and foremost, to prioritize sanskar and karma. You have to make it a priority. If I don't make it a priority, then I'm not taking care of my sanskar. I'm not taking care of my karma. Even if I study in the morning, even if I meditate in the morning, but I don't take care of my karam and my sanskar during the day, I'm not practicing my religion or spirituality. So it's not just a morning routine, but it is a lifestyle throughout the day. So spirituality is a lifestyle. Spirituality is not 30 minutes. Same with religion. Religion is a lifestyle. Live your dharma. So at least commit 30 minutes to yourself on a daily basis. First and foremost, sleep right. What we're doing is, even for those who don't want to use the word spirituality, we're just building up our emotional fitness levels.
That's a very good way of putting it, actually.
Because it's a fact.
Yeah.
No, we're just
Yeah.
strengthening this. It is I who create the emotions. Right now, I tend to easily react and create negative emotions. I need to strengthen myself. So I'm building up my emotional fitness levels. So the first thing that I need for that is this right sleep hygiene. This late sleep, late waking up, too much of screen time before going to sleep, it is depleting energy here.
Yeah.
So going back to what our culture has taught us, what spirituality and religion has taught us, early to bed, early to rise. Every religion teaches waking up early.
Yeah.
Brahma Muhurat, Amrit Vela. Whether you go to the temple, whether you go to the mosque, whether you go to the Gurdwara, it is that early morning.
Yeah.
So why early morning? It is that high vibrational time. So let's start going to bed early and we will automatically wake up early. Let's use that 4 to 5:30 a.m. gap. That time is a high vibrational time. Your intuition power, your creativity power, your newness, coming up with solutions to something that's happening in your life, it will happen in that hour. That's why it's called Brahma Muhurat. It is the Muhurat time of the 24-hour cycle. So it's like, जैसे हम बाकी काम मुहूर्त पे करते हैं ना, कहते हैं कि मुहूर्त निकला जा रहा है. सुबह अगर आप नहीं उठे तो मुहूर्त निकला जा रहा है. अब many children today are actually going to sleep at that time. तो आप मुहूर्त के समय सोने जा रहे हो. So आप समझो आपकी डेस्टिनी अफेक्ट हो जाएगी.
Correct.
So high vibrational time. Don't study or work at the lower vibrational time, which is late at night. Sleep early, wake up early. The amount you will be able to do will be double of what you would do late in the night. But to sleep early, have an early dinner so that you finish your digestion before you go to sleep. Automatically, that saves the number of hours that I need to sleep. So I would save a lot of time just by eating early. Eating early, sleeping early, I would need lesser number of hours. Today we are saying sleep 8 hours, sleep 9 hours. Go and ask your parents and grandparents, and did they ever sleep 8-9 hours? Nobody sleeps that long. But wrong lifestyle is making me waste time in sleeping more. And it's not just time, energy getting depleted. So early dinner, light dinner. For those who are working, disconnect from work at least 2 hours before going to sleep.
Correct.
So technology doesn't mean I have to always be at work.
Yeah.
Create a balance, create a discipline. And if you're a leader of your team, gift that to your entire team. That after 8 o'clock, no one calls each other for business. No one is expected to reply to emails or messages. We will connect tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So 8 to 8 work, 8 to 8 break from work. All these emotions that we are experiencing are actually a sign of a tired mind.
Yeah.
When was the last time we were not at work in our mind?
Yeah.
Even people waking up in the middle of the night are checking their emails and phones. Again, you go to sleep, but you've already given work to your mind.
Yeah.
So relax, take it here. So 2 hours before you sleep, Then, now that you have disconnected from work, disconnect from all the other negative media. It's not that I've disconnected from work, but I'm consuming something which is even more depleting.
Even the news, which is so, gut wrenching for the most part at night,
Not
is
to be watched at night.
Yeah.
Not to be watched in the early morning.
Yeah.
No, because the subconscious mind is active, the absorption power is higher. Whatever I will consume will go deep in. And then at least 15 minutes in the night with yourself. So consume spiritual content before going to sleep, so that it's processing in your subconscious for the next 6-7 hours. Those vibrations are radiating to your body and healing your body. Those vibrations are radiating into the environment. So much happens by just consuming it just before going to sleep. Meditate before going to sleep. Cleanse what happened during the day. Create this. Like we take a shower so that we've cleaned the vibrations of the day. Meditation is like a shower here. Clean everything of the day. Forgive people. Ask for forgiveness before going to sleep to someone whom you were critical or judgmental today.
Yeah.
Gratitude. So all that few minutes just before going to sleep. And then first thing in the morning again. Again, start with gratitude, start with meditation, spiritual. These are these little 2 time slots which are very important. 15 minutes in the night, 20-25 minutes in the morning. Rest of the day, you are a Karam yogi.
But that's actually very simple to
It's
do.
very simple. That's
This
all
is
that we
not
do.
hard to
That's
do
the
at
only
all.
amount of time that
Yeah.
we are giving. The rest of the time, there is so much to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Meditation and spirituality doesn't mean you're like this, sitting the whole day meditating. But these specific times we give to ourselves, and what we create in those 2 times we use during the day.
Yeah.
So not that I'm doing this and then during the day my karam is of any old quality. Karam yogi means your karam is of a yogi quality, which means a high vibrational karam, which means calm, stable, accepting, forgiving, setting a goal, but not with greed, with contentment, moving towards it.
Yeah.
Moving happily towards it. So that makes you a karam yogi, a giver. Diet, sattvic food. Because jaisa an, vaisa man hai. So food plays a very important role on what's happening here.
Yeah.
Again, go back 25 years back, eating out was rare.
Yeah.
Eating out was rare. I remember it used to be like, आज ये है, आज हम बाहर खाना खाने जाएंगे. It used to be like an event.
Yeah.
And today we're sitting at home and ordering food. Food has an impact. So sattvic food, plant-based diet, as far as possible, home-cooked food, and cooked in high vibrational energy. So have high vibration words playing in the kitchen,
Yeah.
like it is cooked in a place of worship or in an ashram, so that your food is not food, it's becoming prasad.
Yeah.
It's high energy words. From the kitchen, you can really change the minds of the people of the family. That's the amount of power in the food.
Yeah. My mother says the same thing. She actually gets them to,
Absolutely.
if somebody's cooking, she'll have bhajans playing in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Because she believes exactly
Yes, yes, it is. So, what we eat, how we cook, and how we eat. And now, while eating, first take that pause, connect, say your little prayer. No screens while eating.
that. Yeah.
No phone, no TV while eating. No arguments, no negative conversations, no problem discussion while eating. Preferably silence while eating or minimal happy conversations. So, no negative words around your food and water.
Yeah.
Because jaisa an, vaisa man hai. So we have to be very careful with the food. Today, morning breakfast is in a rush, lunch is at work, and dinner is with TV.
Yeah.
Or if the whole family sits together, then it's a lot of problems discussion. So actually, all my 3 meals are not how they need to be. So just dedicate that 10 minutes to yourself. It's for your mind and body both. So 4 powers, dhan, an, man or tan. Inka connection hai. This is spiritual lifestyle. So work hard, earn a lot of money, but let money come with blessings. So that's the first energy that comes into your house, the money, the way the money has been earned. Dhan duaon ke saath aana chahiye. Fir an sattvic. What you're eating, how you're cooking, how you're eating. Man, morning and night. Tan apne aap healthy. You're leading a spiritual yogi lifestyle. Simple. You become a karam yogi. You're not somebody who's left your karam, but you are a karam yogi, which means you've raised your vibration of your karam, and destiny will change.
I will definitely take that from this conversation. The last question, Sister Shivani, which we ask everybody because that is the name of our show. Just your last bit on how you would advise everyone who is young or old to just unwind after hours, after they're done with the day. Outside of the meditation, what are the things that they can do to just relax, or content they can consume which is not going to impact them in a negative way?
It's good to stay away from content for some time in the evening. Put away your gadgets.
Yeah.
We're the last generation who knows how to live that way because we did live that way.
Yeah.
If we don't show the children how to live that way, they won't even know that there was a way of living that way, right?
Yeah.
So we have lived that way as kids, that we didn't have technology around us. We know how we lived. We know how it was to be with people. We know how it was to pick up a book and read. We know how it was to just listen to music. We know how it was to just be there doing nothing. I mean, kitni baar we were doing nothing. You know, so I remember when we would have holidays, 2 mahine ki chutti hai school mein, we didn't have something to keep us engaged throughout the day.
Yeah.
So if we had to tell our parent, मैं bore हो रही हूँ, तो कहेंगे तो तू करो जो करना है, तुम्हारी छुट्टी है. So they didn't take up this as an agenda that they had to keep us engaged and occupied. You don't need to keep the mind engaged and occupied continuously. Let the mind be comfortable with yourself. Be happy in your own company. So you will never feel alone and lonely. Be with yourself. You will be happiest with your own company. You won't need always some stimulus to keep yourself engaged. Whether it is going out, whether it is eating, whether it's watching, whether it is talking. Don't have to. Practice that. So there's so much you can do just to unwind, is declutter. And most important is do a little journal writing. Which means not just, okay, I'm sitting relaxed, but then what about here? I have to relax this. I'm not just relaxing this. I have to relax this. There's a lot of clutter that has happened during the day. I need to release it.
Yeah.
Because then only I will truly relax. I will truly relax. So take some time, write it out. Not write out what happened to me, but write out, this was my response. This is how I'll do it tomorrow. So to write it out. So writing it out cleans this, and that truly relaxes you. Because if I'm carrying that baggage here, and then I go to bed, then I'm carrying that baggage in my subconscious forever. And that's why people say, I cannot forgive and forget. Because they did not release that night.
Yeah. The
Before going to
catharsis
sleep.
didn't happen.
Didn't happen. So it's like, you know, suppose this is the cushion, okay? Or a bed. I'm sitting on the bed and I'm having my morning tea, and the little tea spills. I will immediately pull off the sheet.
Yeah.
So the stain is only on the sheet. But if I take even 30 seconds late,
It'll
the
go.
stain has gone deep into the mattress. So that is what happens at night. Whatever happens during the day, it's on the sheet. But if you go to sleep with it, it's now in the mattress, which means now it's gone in the subconscious. Throughout the day, it was on the conscious mind. Clean it. Without that, you can't even have deep sleep. Clean it. Remove the stains. Remove the stains before going to sleep. Then truly you are relaxed. So spend some time with yourself. That's very important.
Done. I will definitely do that. Outside of the journaling, I think I do everything. I go to bed early. I don't eat after 6 p.m.
Journaling means just spend some time reflecting.
Yeah.
It's not even necessary you have to write it. But
Yeah.
even if you just do an introspection. But you know, as a detached observer, introspect.
Yeah.
Don't just say they were wrong, they did. No. Introspect about yourself, not
Correct.
about other people. And then very soon you will get this sanskar of being able to see yourself.
Yeah.
Then it will happen even during the day. You won't see it only at night.
Yeah.
So then your focus will be how I have to respond. What does have to be my karma? Because you checked yesterday and you saw, your next day will change.
Looking forward to doing just that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Shivani. This was such a wonderful chat. And I just feel like I needed some reminders and I've got those today.
Shukriya.
And I will take them forward with me going on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.